Hello guys and gals, welcome back to another episode of Haunted Gaming. This time we're sort of doing a new genre for a game, I guess on a creepypasta. It's a text-based adventure game, and the creepypasta's name is Pale Luna, so with that being said, let's begin. Now, just letting you know, this game is based on a text adventure game, so I'm going to basically flash phrases up on the screen like screen caps, and basically what that's going to be is the game itself. That's going to be, I guess, the gameplay itself. It's going to be the game telling us what the atmosphere is, what the environment is, what the commands are going to be, how a text adventure game plays. So, that being said, let's begin. In the last decade and a half, it's become infinitely easier to obtain exactly what you're looking for, by way of a couple of keystrokes. The internet has made it all too simple to use a computer to change reality. An abundance of information is merely a search engine away, to the point where it's hard to imagine life as any different. Yet, a generation ago, when the words streaming and torrent were meaningless, save for conversations about water, people met face-to-face to conduct software swap parties, trading games and applications on Sharpie-labeled 5¼ floppies. Of course, most of the time, the meets were a way for frugal, community-minded individuals to trade popular games like King's Quest and Maniac Mansion amongst themselves. However, a few early programming talents designed their own computer games to share amongst a circle of acquaintances, who in turn would pass it on until, if fun and well-designed enough, an independently developed game had its place in the collection of aficionados across the country. Think of it as the 80s equivalent of a viral video. Pale Luna, on the other hand, was never circulated outside of the San Francisco Bay Area. All known copies have been long disposed of. All computers that have ever run the game, now detritus, buried under the layers of filth and polystyrene. This fact is attributed to a number of rather abstruse design choices made by its programmer. Pale Luna was a text adventure game in the vein of Zork and the Lurking Horror, at a time when said genre was swiftly going out of fashion. Upon booting the program, the player was presented with a screen almost completely blank, except for the text. You are in a dark room. Moonlight shines through the window. There is gold in the corner, along with a shovel and a rope. There is a door to the east. Command. So began the game, that one writer for a long out-of-print fanzine decried as enigmatic, nonsensical, and completely unplayable, as the only commands that the game would accept were pick up gold, pick up shovel, pick up a rope, open door, and go east. The player was soon presented with the following: reap your reward. Pale Luna smiles at you. You are in a forest. There are paths to the north, west, and east. Command. What quickly infuriated the few who played the game was the confusing and buggy nature of the second screen onward. Only one of the directional decisions could be the correct one. For example, on this occasion, a command to go in the direction other than north would lead to the system freezing, requiring the operator to hard reboot the entire system. Further, any subsequent screens seemed to merely repeat the above text, with the difference being only the directions available. Worse still, the standard text adventure commands appeared to be useless. The only accepted non-movement related prompts were use gold, which caused the game to display this message: not here. Use shovel, which brought up not now, and use rope, which prompted the text you've already used this. Most who played the game progressed a couple of screens into it before becoming fed up and having to constantly reboot and tossing the disc in disgust, writing off the experience as a shoddily programmed farce. However, there is one thing about the world of computers that remains true. No matter the era, some people who use them have way too much time on their hands. A young man by the name of Michael Nevins decided to see if there was more to Pale Luna than what met the eye. 5 hours and 33 screens worth of trial and errors. And unplugged computer cords later, Michael finally managed to make the game display different text. This text in this new area read, Pale Luna smiles wide. There are no paths. Pale Luna smiles wide. The ground is soft. Pale Luna smiles wide. Here, command. It was another hour still before Nevin stumbled upon the proper combinations of phrases to make the game progress any further. Dig hole, drop gold, and fill hole. This caused a screen to display, congratulations, 40.24248, negative 121.4434, upon which the game ceased to accept commands, requiring the user to reboot one last time. After some deliberation, Nevins came to the conclusion that the numbers ahead referred to lines of latitude and longitude. The coordinates led to a point in the sprawling forest that dominated the nearby Lassen Volcanic Park. As he possessed much more free time than sense, Nevins vowed to see Pale Luna through to its ending. The next day, armed with a map, a compass, and a shovel, he navigated the park trails, noting with amusement how each turn he made corresponded roughly to those that he took in the game. Though he initially regretted bringing the cumbersome digging tool on a mere hunch, the path's similarity all but confirmed his suspicions that the journey would end with him face to face with an eccentric's buried treasure. Out of breath, he was pleasantly surprised by a literal stumble upon a patch of uneven dirt. Shoveling as excitedly as he was, it would be an understatement to say that he was taken back when his heavy strokes unearthed the badly decomposing head of a blonde-haired little girl. Nevins promptly reported the situation to the authorities. The girl was identified as Karen Paulson, 11, reported as missing to the San Diego Police Department a year and a half prior. Efforts were made to track down the programmer of Pale Luna, but the nearly anonymous legal gray area in which the software swapping community operated inescapably led to many dead ends. Collectors have been known to offer upwards of 6 figures to an authentic copy of this game. The rest of Karen's body was also never found. Okay, that was a short and sweet creepypasta. Now, as far as cliches go, I really didn't see any of them. And even if they were there and I missed them, they didn't really kill the experience at all. Now, this creepypasta starts off in a unique fashion, telling us about the game's origins, and I'm just going on a limb here how the game was obtained by our protagonist, Michael Nevins. I'm just going to go out and say it's probably because of the torrent that was explained in the beginning. The word torrent, I guess maybe Michael torrented it, or I guess streamed it off a flash site. I don't know, I'm just going to go with that. One of the criticisms I guess I can just bring up here is that it wasn't really explained how Michael got this game. I'm just going to go with the fact it was torrented. I wish it actually did explain how this game was obtained by our protagonist. Now moving on, we haven't really done a text-based game creepypasta, so the genre was unique, and for the first one we've done, it's pretty good. Now I really don't have much to say about it. I mean, it's short and pretty straightforward. The inclusion of these real-life events weren't so unbelievable, and honestly it felt like it could have happened. Kind of like the creepypasta Mario. It was nice to see that this creepypasta had a hint of actually happening. Now, realistically, did it happen? Probably not, but it's definitely a lot more believable than some other creepypastas we've done. Focusing more into this creepypasta, I've searched up the name Karen Paulson, and I've not found one hint of this being real. Maybe the article is buried deep in the internet, but surely if something tragic like this occurs, it should be very easy to locate. Maybe I didn't look long and hard enough, and if you know more, then please let me know in the comments below. Now, I liked how this creepypasta had a hint of knob.exe as well, where the in-game events closely do mirror the real-life events, and personally, when this is done right, it's one of my favorite things to see in a creepypasta, because you know what, it actually does creep me out, and rather than give me that meh feeling, again, there's not much more I can say about this creepypasta. It's not too long. It's pretty straightforward. Pacing could be a little more fleshed out, in my opinion. It's got unique ideas of game obtaining, and the events played out well enough, being interesting and somewhat unsettling without ending up being an unbelievable and borderline comedic mess. The ending was nice, leaving readers to guess if something like this was real or not. Could it be real? Who knows? What would you rate this creepypasta and what would you change to make it better? This has been another episode of Haunted Gaming. The game on the screen, if you're wondering, is Warframe. I assumed a text-based game might have bored you, so I threw in this gameplay. This game is free to play on the PC, it's fun, has nice co-op. Check it out if you feel like it. If you like what you saw, then like, comment, subscribe. This is me, Mudahar, and I am out.